Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So welcome to another market open stream. Today is Labor Day in the US, so it is official holiday. That's why the US market is closed. That's why I'm streaming a little bit late, but we still have a lot to talk about, especially what to look forward to this week. And we are in a new month. Time flies. We are in a new month, and this is historically the worst month for Bitcoin. So is it going to be different this time out? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about everything else. All right, let's do it. Welcome, 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 guys. Yeah, we're starting out today a little bit better than the weekend. This weekend kind of sucked. A lot of you guys may have watched my Sunday walk video. I was a little frustrated. I know a lot of you guys are frustrated, but the frustrations will come to an end. And I'm going to tell you why. Right now, we're at 58.7. So I was looking at, like, I ended my Friday stream around 59.1. So we're around the same. But we did dip down a little bit over the weekend. However, this week, we do have some big things to look forward to. And I highlighted right here. I spoke about it. I mean, we do have a lot of economic data always, right? We always have a lot of data. But the biggest ones will be coming this Friday. Non-farm jobs payroll report, which will measure the jobs activity from last month. And then also the unemployment rate. These two things are very, very crucial when it comes to the next rate cut. Okay. And that's coming this month. I'm sick of saying, oh, it's coming next month. No, it's this month that we will get the very first rate cut in the US since 2021. Since 2021. It's been years. We've been held at these elevated rates for a long time. So we know it's coming, but it's at 50 basis points or 25 basis points. So this Friday's reading of both will help Powell decide which way to go. Unemployment may tick that back down a little bit. We're at like 4.3%, which if you think about it is quite high. If we tick up in a surprising move, that will definitely cause Powell to think about the 50 basis points. Same thing with the non-farm payroll basic jobs report. If it comes in way less than expected, that will also help. If both comes in better than expected, well, then it's not going to help push towards the 50 basis point. But still, right now, if you look at it, it is 100% locked that we will get a cut. It's just a matter of, again, 25 basis points, which is 0.25%, and 50 basis point, which is 0.5%. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I'm talking about the U.S., right? What about those of you guys from around the world? There are going to be a lot of cuts this month. The ECB, Bank of England, China, Swiss, Sweden, Canada, Mexico, they're all getting ready to cut their rate too. We have seen a global liquidity chart starting to go up. The M2 money supply is starting to go up. And every country around the world is kind of in the same situation where they're like, okay, this is time to cut. Economies are slowing down, and we want to follow what the U.S. is doing. And the U.S. is going to start cutting, right? So this month, we could see a lot of decisions made where we get like massive cuts left and right all over the place, which, traditionally speaking, is good. When you have these cuts, that is a good thing. Right? It gets the money flowing. You may be wondering, well, how does the money start flowing? Well, think about it. With lower rates, that's how businesses and other banks can borrow, right, at a lower interest rate. Because no one wants to borrow at a high interest rate, but the Fed fund rate is basically what you can borrow from the Fed. And, so now businesses go to banks borrow from the Fed. It's a never-ending circle. But with lower rates, it's easier to do. So that's how the money starts flowing. So this month could be quite interesting. Quite interesting for broader markets, for Wall Street, for markets around the world. If we get a lot of cuts, historic cuts this month, that could be a very, very good thing. And of course, that translates to Bitcoin and crypto, right? So that's this month. But what about Bitcoin specifically? Well, right now, we know that Bitcoin is stuck and going sideways, and you could argue went lower. August was not a good month. August was not a good month, right? But here's what's maybe even worse. Historically, Bitcoin's worst month is September. And you could see, besides 2023, we had a little uptick. 2022, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. And then also 14 and 13. All red. That's no good. That's no good, right? So, do we have to storm through the weather? Quite possibly. Because look at what happens afterwards. Look at how good historically October is. Look at the greens and double-digit greens, right? That's why I tell you guys, normally if you look at a chart and you look at the halving years, the most bullish years, okay, or the most bullish times come toward the end of the year, around the October-November timeframe. But however, does this mean, this is a guarantee, does this mean that September is going to be red again and horrible? The answer is, of course, no. I just got done talking about, we're going to have, since basically 2020, we've been getting elevated rates and we've been getting rate hikes, right? So all these years that we were in red, a lot of it had to do with the rates being added, not just in the US, around the world. And for the first time since 2020, we're actually going to get cuts, right? So even though it looks bad right now on paper, we have a lot of macro factors that you got to factor in. If the money starts flowing, which it will starting this month, things can change drastically, right? So it's not for sure, but we'll see. We'll see. And of course, we got other good things happening too, not just the rate cuts, right? We got a lot of good things happening. But right now, as it stands, Bitcoin is still in a very fearful level at 26. If you look at 26 and you go back, yeah, we hit 26 a few times, but we haven't really seen 26 for years, since the low in 2023, right? Or 2022, 2023. We haven't really seen this level for years. So, normally speaking, when you see extreme fear, that's when, guess what, we turn around, right? Kind of like what we're going through right now. What else is there? Bitcoin miners, they're also feeling the heat right now. Bitcoin miners see worse revenues in 11 months at difficulty climbs. You know, they go through this, right? Sometimes they even sell. Sometimes they have to sell. Well, you know, for miners, the Bitcoin difficulty adjusts every 2 weeks, right? And right now, we saw them go through a capitulation period. Maybe it's not quite over yet, because some of the smaller miners are really feeling the heat. You know, it costs about $50-something thousand to mine a single Bitcoin. So a lot of them are like getting close to neutral, if not more. So a lot of them have to just like sell and capitulate, right? But the bigger ones, they don't care. They keep onboarding more and more miners, which is why difficulty continues to go up. And they don't care that the difficulty rises, because they actually like it. They probably want to shut down the smaller miners. They want to kick them out. But they know ultimately Bitcoin is scarce. You want to accumulate as much as possible, right? So that's kind of like how it goes with the miners, how I see it. There's waves too, right? Especially halving events puts on a huge amount of pressure for miners, because it becomes twice as expensive to mine a single Bitcoin. But Bitcoin's network continues to get bigger and stronger. That's why the difficulty is going up. The hash rate continues to go up. And ultimately, It's the best network that we have, the most secure and the most transparent and most immutable and most unhackable network that we have today. Running for what, 14 years without downtime, without it being hacked. And so good, in fact, that governments have stopped trying to shut it down. Just take a second to think about that, how amazing that is. Governments around the world have now concluded you can't shut down the network. So you might as well just embrace it. There's nothing else out there that governments can't shut down. I mean, it's quite amazing if you think about it. Anyways, so the miners, right, they continue to power the network. Maybe some of them are selling because they are capitulating because they just can't survive. But the big ones, and there are a lot, and now Russia is getting involved with mining. China, of course, is involved with mining. The U.S. is now a huge mining country and could be even bigger. It's kind of like a global race, right? You know, it's like global race to hoard like precious metals like gold and stuff. We're going to see a global race to hoard Bitcoin. It's coming. It is definitely coming. Now, whales, of course, have been hoarding for a long time. So wallets with 100 plus Bitcoin hit 17-month highs. So the large whales, long-term holders, continue to load up. That's all you could do. That's all you could do, right? When you get bored, you get frustrated, you get this long, extended sideways movement, what else can you do besides tune in to me? You can just continue to hodl and DCA. That's really it. That's the winning strategy. There's nothing else you need to do. You just continue to hodl and DCA. It's the winning strategy. You don't need to try to flip-flop between coins or outsmart the market by trading. All you have to do is accumulate. And the whales understand that. Right? That's why we see that. And you can see it's actually starting to go up. Ever since that dip back down to 49,000, the whale accumulation have been increasing because that's like a sign like, oh, okay, that may be the low of this period. That's when you want to accumulate, right? Actually, you could see it clearly after that point. It started going upwards. Started going up in a big way, right? And here's a shocking thing that some of you guys may not realize because some of you guys are gold bugs. Some are mentioning, well, gold is starting to go up. You know, gold is going up so much. Why is Bitcoin not going up? And even with central banks around the world buying gold at record levels, supposedly, it still didn't perform Bitcoin year to date. Bitcoin is still up over 100%. It's still up like 300% from the low of like 2 years ago. Nothing outperforms Bitcoin. We may go through these like long, boring, frustrating periods, but nothing outperforms Bitcoin. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's because we're all in it every single day watching it. That's why we get frustrated. But hey, if you go away for 6 months, you come back, you're going to see your portfolio way higher. That's how it works. It just never stops. People don't understand this concept that nothing outperforms Bitcoin. It goes up annually 140%. And I've been averaging that for the last 14 years. 140% annualized return. What other investment does that? There is none. 140% annualized returns? That's crazy. That's crazy. Gold giving 140% annualized returns? Not even close. All right, and finally, let's look at a few little charts here. Here's one that shows you the DCA zone. We're not quite in there. We're kind of in like the hodl zone, right? And then what happens afterwards, you have the up-only zone. That's the parabolic phase, the banana phase of this cycle. And, you know, we're building up to it, right? Maybe not this month. Maybe it's going to start October. Or maybe it starts this month because, again, for the first time in 4 years, you're going to have central banks around the world, including the U.S., start cutting rates. That is a very bullish thing. Extremely bullish, right? So for the first time in 4 years, we could see Bitcoin and broader markets move in a way we haven't before, right? So this is showing good things are coming. This is also showing good things are coming, that we're mimicking the 2017 cycle when we went from $1,000 to 20,000, right? So you could see all-time high on the left side, all-time high 2013. That's when I got in first. Like when I first heard about Bitcoin, it went above $1,000. I'm like, man, what did I miss out on? I was in IT then, and I'm like, how did I miss out on that? Well, it's because I got burned in 2008, the housing crash. I just didn't want to pay attention to any kind of investments, right? But I got in. I didn't understand, and I saw Bitcoin crash to $160, but I didn't think of it much. I didn't understand it until I got back in 2017 when it hit $1,000 again, right? But you could see when it broke through, it kind of went sideways a little bit before it really started going up, right? And we're kind of in the same way. Yes, our consolidation is longer, but again, we broke through all-time high way quicker than we did in 2016. Months ahead. We broke it in March. That didn't happen. If you look at it, it didn't even happen in that halving year of 2016. Bitcoin didn't break through all-time high until the second year, 2017, right? So we're way, way, way ahead. But overall, you could see the pattern is almost identical. You hit an all-time high, you go down with crypto winter. With this time we went to 15,000, we came back up, we're consolidating. Guess what the next step is? The banana zone. That's what the next step is, right? Here's another longer version of that. Same thing. You get a little consolidation period, and then what happens? You go upwards. That's when we saw 20,000 in 2017 from a measly $1,000 at the beginning of the year. So where will we hit, or where will we start the new year in 2025? We're going to start at 100,000. Think about it. Think about starting 2025 at 100,000. I do think we will hit 100,000 even before the end of the year. But imagine starting out at 100,000. Where will Bitcoin end up by the end of 2025? Can it only go up a 2x by the end of the year, when in 2017 it went up 20x? Man, it's fun to think about. But here's the reality. We only have 3 months. 3 months until the end of the year. We don't have to wait much longer. This is not fantasy world where I'm saying, well, let's wait 3 more years or 5 more years or 10 more years to find out. No, we'll find out in 3 months. It's going to be quite exciting. And this is what I used on my thumbnail here. Last 2 Septembers, right, from previous cycles. And you can see in September, if you look at both, the last September 2023, which is from last year, we did have a little dip before. And then we went up crazily, right? That's when Bitcoin was still stuck in like the 20,000 zone, and we never looked back. And then you look at September 2020, we got that little dip, and then guess what? We never looked back, right? Are we going to see the same thing happen this September? Are we going to break the mold of a red month, a historically bad month? Are we going to break that and start moving upwards? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. All right, what else is there? Just a few other things. I saw this today. Telegram financial statement shows, actually this is from last week. Financial shows it holds 400 million crypto. That's quite a lot for a crypto project. 400 million. Just interesting. This did come out. A lot of Cardano fans have been waiting for the Chang hard fork. It finally happened. So now, this is going to allow ADA to become more decentralized. And one day, Charles Hoskinson will leave Cardano because his vision is to make it so decentralized that there should be no figurehead like himself in any project. Will it work? Let's see. And then that's it. That's it. That's all I want to talk about. All right, let's do some Q&A. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Labor Day. Let's see here. Hello from Michigan. Hello from Holland. Let's see. Still scrolling. All right. Not a whole lot. Happy Labor Day from Rhode Island. You know, I don't hear a lot of people saying they're from Rhode Island. I don't think I've ever been. I've never really been to like the East Coast. I haven't been to Boston yet. Rhode Island, Maine, you know, like I haven't really visited any of the East Coast places. Romania, Germany, Netherlands, and Taiwan. Denmark. We got great seafood in New England. That's what I'm hearing. I love lobsters. I love king crab. And it's hard to find places that have really good seafood. Norway and Philippines and Malaysia and Canada. Idaho. I don't know anyone from Idaho. No one ever says, I'm from Idaho. Let's do a poll. People love polls. I can't. I'm going to add 3, so I'm just going to put it in here. I can't put Asia, so for those of you guys in Asia, sorry. Serbia, Nikki. Serbia produces some good basketball players. That's for sure. Wow, 40%. 41% in Europe right now. That's a large amount of you guys from Europe. West Coast still sleeping. That's kind of true. It's like 7 a.m. And if you don't have to get up to work today, you're not going to be watching, which is why probably the number's a little bit lower. Just do Europe and Asia. I guess, you know, the reason being today, it's Labor Day. So in US, a lot of people are not working. They're getting up late. So I'm assuming a lot of people are not tuning in. That's why Europeans are tuning in because they're like, hey, why is everyone not streaming today? This is probably the reason. Oh shoot, I don't. Canada. Okay, here. I'll do one that's more fair. That's more encompassing of all countries. Um,
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.
okay, this should hit every country except Australia. If you're from Australia, just vote Asia. And if you're from Africa, just vote Asia too, or Europe. It's closer to Europe. I can't. I can only fit 4 things, so I can't. I can't choose anything else. Oh shit! I just realized my screen went dark. Sorry. Sorry. People love XRP. Man, what's going on? Oh, I spelled South Africa wrong. I mean South America, not South Africa. I spelled South America wrong. Sorry about that. But there's no one. Man, how come I don't have people watching me from like Mexico or Brazil or Argentina? It's kind of strange. Man, people love polls about location. There's not one single question right now. Just people chiming on where they're from. 50% in North America. That sounds about right. US and Canada. Large amount, 32% in Europe. Asia's 14%, which isn't bad. But South America, man, 4%. Really, really low. I need to start speaking Spanish or dubbing Spanish or something. Brazil is geo-locked. Is it really? So you can't get YouTube there? Envy, if the herd believes 2025 will be a bull run, does that make you consider it will not happen until people forget about crypto again? No. No, not in that case. Because it happens every single time. Maybe this time it doesn't happen, but every single 4-year cycle, it's always the year after a halving event. I used to have a guy, maybe with all the AI stuff now, I used to have a guy that would do like, you know, dubbing or translating to different languages, and he just like rugged me and disappeared. I have no idea what happened. Maybe with the AI tools out there now, I can add in a Spanish captions or something. Yeah, that's really low for South America. $9,000 a day fine in Brazil for using a VPN. That can't be right. Not even in China they do that. Here's the thing about China. It's like if you talk to anyone that's from China, even though they have their firewall, like they know everyone just turns on VPN and watches YouTube and goes outside. They don't really stop that. I heard like during some periods, some holidays or something, if they want people to get off the internet, they will just like, they will block the VPNs too. But for the most part, they don't. So it's like, even though they say they have a great firewall of China, but like people just get around it all the time. So I would be really surprised if Brazil's like, if Brazil actually charges people for using a VPN. Hey George, you know what would be fun? Once a month, get a DJs in a car ride for a Saturday ride. I think that would be cool. That wouldn't be possible because one of the guys is living in a different area, so that wouldn't be possible. You could try to fake it, put some green screens behind them as if they were in the car. Thomas says, do you expect a downturn soon after the cut rate? That means just this October can be a negative month followed by upward movement from November onwards. No, I don't anticipate that. I could see after the cut rate in September, maybe nothing happens, and then people are like, WTF, why didn't markets go up? Right? And then we see it happen in October. I could see that scenario happening. The markets will run up because of many reasons, but a big one is the elections coming up in November. Johnny 5, been a while since I caught a live stream. Times may be frustrating, but we've already waited a bit. So what is a little bit longer, in my opinion? That's right. That's right. Curious, who gives you these used cars to drive around for my video? Manufacturers. I have the ability to borrow basically any car out there on the market. I have because of my other channel, I have a agreement with them. So I could get unlimited amount of cars. So it's not something that people can ever replicate. There's no other crypto YouTuber that could do that. So people love to copy my ideas. They love to do that. But they're not gonna be able to copy CryptosRUs, I'll tell you that. Unless they're also a car reviewer. Which I don't think anyone else is. Eagle Eye, how come you're not including Africa? I can't. I can only have 4 options. I can only put 4. But I should have removed South America and put in Africa in there, because I think there's probably more watching from Africa because of South Africa. There's just no one watching from South America. Have you driven the new Ferrari Pure Sangue? No, I passed by a dealership. I saw one the other day. It does not look like an SUV. It looks like the GT4. Was it? Yeah. Yeah, the GT4 Lusso. I think that's what it is. It just looks like a low hatchback. I don't think it's going to do well. I don't think a lot of people are going to buy that car. I think resale value, once it starts saturating the market, I think it could go down just like the others. I mean, it's a very high MSRP, 400,000 MSRP. The car channel drivers only is in the description. It's been in my description of all my videos. Just click into drivers only or look for it, right? Johnny says, I remember you said you were once in IT. I'm potentially looking into getting a career in cybersecurity and computer science. Thoughts? They're totally different fields. Computer science is about programming. Cybersecurity is about just using the tools at hand. So you have to decide whether you're a programmer or not. Programmers they could both make you serious money. If you got a good position in a company, your salary is anywhere from $200 to $400 to $500,000 a year. I mean, you're talking about serious money. But you got to be good at what you do. Computer science, I think cybersecurity is easier to get involved with. You don't have to learn all the coding and stuff. You just have to know about the tools and know how to use the tools and be very good at it. And computer science, more like not everyone can be a computer science major. It's tough. The way to think in programming is different than how a normal person thinks. So just know that. Only certain people excel at programming. Anu says, this bull run has sucked. It sucked because, again, we got accustomed to the March levels, the March-April levels. Just imagine, if March and April never happened, okay, we didn't have a run up to 73,000. Let's just say, like in January and February, we were still 30s, 40s, and then we just ran up slowly to the 50s and now 60s. No one would be complaining. It's only because we had a preview of what's to come very early in March and April. That's why people think the way they do now. But had March and April not happened, and we were just in the 40s, and then we slowly crept up to the 50s and 60s, there would be no complaining right now. Too bad I can't edit this poll. Okay, let's do a new poll about countries. Hopefully it doesn't trigger the most educational video again.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.
Oh shoot, sorry. I got some like key thing that just like triggers that educational video. So I'm sorry. Camp military forever, so cyber it is. You know what? I think cybersecurity is probably the way to go. Cybersecurity is only. You could also think about cloud. It's not just the two. Cloud computing is huge, absolutely huge as well. Just being a cloud engineer and helping company transit from like a normal infrastructure, like their own data warehouse, not data warehouse, their own hosting, right, to cloud. That in itself is very lucrative too. And you don't even have to work for big companies. You could just do that yourself as a consultant. Oh, so now this is different. Asia and Europe, neck and neck right now, 33%. How have any of you guys gone to Argentina? Because Avalanche, their new summit in October is going to be in Argentina. I'm just wondering if Argentina is a good place to go. Buenos Aires? I don't know anything about the city. I don't know if that's a good place to visit. I had a girlfriend from Buenos Aires. It's beautiful. What do you even do in the country though? Like what are you supposed to do over there? You just like check out the city. I don't know. I'm asking seriously. Like I don't even know like what you would want to check out there. Best steak is from Argentina. Sightseeing or partying? Like I would be afraid to like party in a country like Argentina. I don't know. I just, I'd be afraid of that if I'm being honest. Wineries and steaks. I hate wine, so I would not enjoy that. Why is the best steaks from Argentina? Doesn't even make sense. We have all the cows here. So why are the best steaks from Argentina? Michael, bye-bye. W Dog. Chances of Solana overtaking ETH this cycle. I'd say a pretty good chance. I give it a 50-50 chance. I think there's a really good shot of that happening. I'd be afraid to party in the US. Depends on where you go, I guess. All right, guys, I guess that's it. We had a fun live chat about countries today. You know, to sum up, September traditionally not a good month for Bitcoin. Okay, but you know what? For 4 years now, we had elevated rates. That's going to change starting this month. And we got some big numbers coming out this Friday. And, you know, we never know what may happen in crypto, right? So, smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys maybe tonight. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I'll try to do it. But if there's nothing going on, I'm just going to wait until tomorrow. Have a good one, Matthew. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.